Sorry for the singing, ma'am. So, good day everyone. Today I want to talk about something that lies at the heart of how we live, relate to others, and treat the world around us, and that is a confession. When we hear the word confession, many of us think of simple kindness or feeling sorry for someone, but if we look deeper, it is much more than that. In, in my own words, compassion is the ability to recognize the suffering, needs, and feeling of another living being. Whether that is a person, an animal, of nature itself. And then choosing to respond with care, concern, and a willingness to help or do better. It is not just an emotion, it is an action that comes from the heart. What is a confession? Let me explain it more clearly. Confession starts with awareness. It means stepping outside of our own world for a moment and saying, what you are going through matters, your well-being matters. Unlike pity, which can sometimes feel distant, confession connect us. It says, I am with you and I care enough to do something. It is understand that we are all part of one shared existence. What happens to one eventually affects of all of us. For example, when we see someone struggling, confession moves us to offer help instead of looking away. When we see nature being harmed, confession makes us feel concerned because we understand that nature sustains us too. In short, confession is the bridge between seeing a need actually responding to it. Confession in care for other and the environment. Now, how do we express this confession in daily life? First, towards towards other people, confession show in how we listen. Truly listen without judging. It shows when we respect differences, when we help those who are vulnerable, when we share that what we have, and when we forget extent of holding grudges. In our families, schools, and communities, small acts of compassion build trust, unity, and peace. Even a simple word of encouragement of helping someone carry a load speak louder than words. Second, toward the toward the environment, this is something we often overlook. But is but it is but it is equally important. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the land of forests that give us food and shelter, they are living systems that support our life. Compassion for nature means understand that it too can suffer from pollution, destruction, and neglect. When we reduce waste, conserve water and energy, avoid littering, and protect trees and wildlife, we are we are expressing compassion. We are saying this word is not just for us to use. It is it is from it is for us to protect and preserve, not in the for future generation. Um, care for care for other and care for the environment go hand in hand. If we harm nature, we eventually harm the people who depend on it. True, true compassion never separate people from the world they live in. Role of communal discernment. This brings us to an important question. How do we turn this confusion into real, lasting change? This is where communal discernment comes in. In my own words, in my own understanding, communal discernment is the process where a community comes together, listening to one another, reflecting, and thinking carefully to understand what a truly good, fair, and compassionate for everyone. It is not just one person deciding what to do. It is what the whole community sharing ideas, considering different views, and choosing action that serve the common good. What's the important in making our university and the world and in the whole world more compassionate? First, it prevents selfish choices. When we decide alone, we might only think of our own together. When see the bigger picture, how our choices affects classmate, neighbor, and nature. Second, it turns compassion into shared responsibility. Compassion works best when everyone takes part. In a university settings, for example, through communal discernment, we can agree on roles to keep our campus clean, to treat others with respect, and to use resources wisely. Outside the school, communities can work together to protect rivers, plant trees, and or support those is in need. Third, it builds understand through open discussions. We learn what compassion actually looks like in real situation. It is it is not always easy, but by listening together, we find solutions that are fair and caring. Communal discernment ensure that compassion that not stay at just appealing, it becomes a shared way of living and action. Conclusion. Compassion is seeing, caring, and acting for others in our planet. It is the foundation of good life and a peaceful world. But for it to grow strong, we need communal discernment coming together to think, decide, and act one community. At our university and beyond, if we practice both compassion and truthful shared decision making, when we truly create a place in a world that in kinder, fairer, and more caring for all living things. Thank you very much.